Generalmente la gente tiene a alguien que conoce que se lo han llevado y que conocen que ese alguien era una persona buena y no estaba involucrada con la delincuencia. La inmensa mayoría son mujeres las que buscan a sus seres amados, sean parejas, pero sobre todo son mamás o son hijas o son hermanas. ¿Cómo está?
Qué gusto verla.
¿Cómo se ha portado? ¿Cómo se siente?
Bueno, mucho ánimo, ¿eh?
Una de las violaciones más atroces que hay, la desaparición involuntaria de personas, porque te deja en el limbo. No sabes dónde está, no sabes qué le pasó, no sabes cómo está. Es por eso que vimos como un compromiso ineludible acompañar a las familias en la búsqueda de justicia, en la búsqueda de verdad. Y ellas son familias que han estado buscando y buscando incansablemente. Aunque ahorita no encontremos totalmente la verdad, estamos en camino de la búsqueda.
Good morning. I am here on the set with Mr. Señor Bernardo Ruiz, the director of Kingdom of Shadows, the movie, and Oscar Hagelsieb. Very nice to be meeting both of you. I'm with 15 minutes to show Ankh Entertainment and Stones and the Color of Our Blog, so let's get into the questions. First question, what happens to the families? How quickly are the police notified after the family's victims, the relatives are taken? You know, how quick is the process of them finding out that the person's even missing?
Well, the process of them finding out that the family member is missing is almost instantaneous, based in the sense that everybody is in a heightened state of alert in Mexico with the violence. Now, whether they report it or not, that's a different story, because a lot of the times the kidnappers will give specific instructions that if the police is notified, they are going to cause harm, they're going to kill their relatives. And unfortunately, a number of these kidnappings go unreported.
Wow. Now, Director Ruiz, what happens, were you able to go into such a violent climate, and how did you earn the trust of those people so that they could, I mean, this is pretty intense, drug cartels, a lot of murder and crime involved and violence, and, you know, you seem sensitive enough that you went in and got a story. So how did that happen?
You know, I chose for the Mexico part of the story, I focused on this human rights stuff, which is how can families be best supported, how can their rights be protected, and how can they discover what's happened to their loved ones.
And do they receive any kind of, I mean, they have post-traumatic stress disorder counseling. They've got to be traumatized by this whole thing. So does Mexico offer them any kind of counseling? Does the state fund any kind of therapeutic sessions for them? I mean, it's got to be really hard.
The organization that you see profiled in the film
Yes.
Actually does do some basic counseling, and I think you're absolutely right. There is a tremendous amount of trauma going on. I mean, Oscar can speak to some of his experiences as an undercover, where he's seen some very kind of heavy duty things.
Yes.
But in terms of what I saw in the field filming this film, there's definitely a high incidence of trauma, and clearly the families need more support.
Now, Oscar, when you bust a cartel, you get them, you lock them in jail. What happens? What kind of reverb happens on a community level to all of the drug dispensaries, all the marijuana clinics? What happens? You just bust one of their guys, perhaps, with the bags of marijuana. So how does that affect the clinics? Yes.
That's not really something that we concentrate on.
Okay. One other question. How would Mexico be? How would Monterrey be without the drug cartel? What kind of potential would that country have without the drug cartel there? I remember in the beginning of the film, it talks about it used to be the most wealthiest place there in Monterrey, and now it's like a land of violence. What would happen? What would the ultimate be?
Well, the basic thing that you see in the film is one lonely nun working invisibly in a corner of Mexico who needs more support for the work that she's doing. And it's a very difficult task. So, you know, that people like Sister Consuelo are really the ones who are on the front lines of this issue, and they need
A lot of support.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you both for coming and sitting in front of us at 15 Minutes on Entertainment and Stones of Career blog. What is your website? It's kingdomofshadows.com.
It's takepart/Kingdom of Shadows.
Okay, that's for everybody out there that wants to help out and get involved. And thank you, Oscar. You both of you are very brave. My heart goes out to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. It's been Osiris. It's a wrap.
I had struggled trying to make a living in agriculture.
Not here to hurt you.
There's virtually no farmer that owns land through conventional means that isn't in debt to the bank and slave to them. I owed the Production Credit Association $800,000 at 14% interest. It was a struggle. So I decided to try to go to Mexico and buy some marijuana. Walked across the river and loaded into the back of a Suburban, and I successfully smuggled my first load. It was terribly amateurish, but I got away with it. I took that load to a man in Plainview, Texas, and I sold all of it in a matter of hours. One big sack, about $600 a pound. To me, at the time, that was a lot of money. So it just became part of the routine. About every 2 weeks, do a load.
What really kicked off my undercover career in federal law enforcement was picking up phones from loads that we had intercepted at the border. Rather than just let the phone sit there, you know, they would start calling and see, hey, did you make it? Ya llegaste, ¿dónde estás? And I would actually talk to the individual we had just arrested. And I would just talk to him to see how he would talk. And I would try to mimic how he would talk. I would ask him like, hey, you know, where you from? Where you going? What? And this is all within, you know, 5 minutes of us taking the load down. The guy would call, I'd be like, ¿dónde estás? And they'd be like, well, where are you? And I'd hit him back like, wow, you know, I got nervous. You know, the Border Patrol was behind me, but I was able to get away. But where you guys at? So I would show up, and then I would start calling, and I'd see who was the ones that are answering the phone, and we would arrest that load, and then we would play with those phones.